So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. And thank you for introducing me. My name is Magdalena Labowska, and today at today's meeting, I would like to talk about the project recently undertaken by our InSpace team as a part of the Mars City State Design Competition. Now we can present the final effect of our work. Our group has undertaken the creation of a city on Mars on 1 million inhabitants. We are a group of young people fascinated by space engineering and taking up new challenges in this direction. Creation of InSpace Federation city per million inhabitants was another great challenge for us. First of all, after the analysis of the environment, potential location of raw materials, we created a plan of architectural vision. We assumed what the industry on Mars could look like, but we also have undertaken issues related to food production and transportation. In such a large project, not only technological, but also social issues are important. The project includes aspects such as the description of functional of cities, law, economy, work and study, moreover, culture, sports, and even ordinary everyday life of Martian inhabitants. The difficult conditions on Mars make it necessary to protect people from radiation, low temperature and pressure. It's important to choosing the right place for first base in the initial phase of the city development. The factors determining the location should include the terrain due to the fact the shape and final form of the habitat will strongly depend on it. The construction of the base on a flat terrain will be different than in the canyon or craters. Another factor is the presence of deposits in the near area, as well as distance from the water accessibility. Because we know that water is the most important raw materials needed for human to survive. On Mars, water is located on the poles in the form of ice, and it is also partially dissolved in regolith. Taking it into account all aspects, we have created a Red Planet development plan. We have included the largest units inhabited by the settlers, like Idea Police is there, Run City and Idea City. There's also industrial zones where potential raw materials can be found and prepared. But also research centers where are conducted studies about Mars and improving technology, but also a recreational park created for Martian citizens and tourists from Earth. The one of cities, Idea City, based on the concept, the ideal city, and was created for 1,000 citizens. The main assumption of this city are short distance, the center being the main point of the whole colony, and the network of underground tunnels that will allow to move around the city without being exposed to external conditions. Most of the buildings are located underground, which allows to protect resistance from radiation. The second, Round City, was created on the similar principle, as we can see in the next slide. Closer to the center, there are buildings designed for everyday life. Industrial buildings are located on the outside of the city. On the edge, there are also located greenhouses where plants for food, medicine, and textile industry are cultivated. Ideapolis, the capital of the InSpace Federation, is the largest city with over 700,000 inhabitants. It developed in 3 phases, which is easily noticeable in this structure divided into 3 circles. The first circle is a post-industrial district. It is inhabited by the poorest inhabitants of our country. The second circle is originally an office district. This is where the tallest building that have the best view of Mars are located. The third circle was created as a housing estate. Around the city, there are industrial facilities and crops fully automated. There's an economic and technological zone near the capital. It is obvious that the development of city per million inhabitants is a long-term process, not only from technical, but also from a logistical point of view. Our team assumed that 1 million would be achieved within about 200 years. Certainly, at the specific moment, children would start appearing on Mars, which would accelerate the demographic expansion. We proposed building where children would adapt to Martian conditions in the first years of their lives. On different levels of building, on different rings, there are rings imitating gravity, similar to the Earth's, and intermediate and similar to Martian. What will industry on the real planet look like when we reach 1 million inhabitants? Most of the issues discussed are in the sphere of speculation. Perhaps people will be eating food prepared in capsules, moving around the city in fully automated vehicles. And the industrial house fabricated semi-finished products and mechanical machines can be operated remotely by using, example, advanced measurement and optical systems to moving the house into the virtual world. First of all, food production. In our project, modern food production technologies include the use of nanotechnology. And the first stage, which is plant cultivation, this technology allows to improve crops. The next step is to process the harvested crop into powder. All nutrients such as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, fibers, and vitamins are added at this stage. Then the ingredients are mixed in the right proportion, depending on human demand. Everything is packed into capsules. The use of these capsules enable obtain a ready dish that provides the right ingredients. Distance from cities, airports, and tourist attractions are significant, so we propose some ideas that could improve transport on Mars. First of them is hyper, where there is a first mode of transport that everyone arriving on Mars uses to get to the city from the airstrip. It's a high-speed train moving in near vacuum environment. The second one is suborbital flights. This is a much faster way of transport. It is possible to move around the city by using city train or autonomous taxi. Taxis move above underground and above the ground in specially prepared tunnels. Another way to get around the city is city rail. The last way are rocket. Thanks to them, we will return to Earth. We will return to the Earth, but also reach the hotel located on the moon, Phobos. Apart from the deposits located on Mars, the second possibility is to obtain them from the asteroid belt. Fast transport of materials to orbit will be possible thanks to our proposed space elevator, which will be built near the shipyard. As I mentioned at the beginning, in addition to creating the project technologically, we also try to focus our project on things that directly relate to people. People living on Mars may change in evolutionary terms due to the different conditions. Of course, we will have to wait for visible change of several generations. It's suspected that people will be taller and more stocky due to lower gravity. Less pressure can cause heads to be bigger. Gravity and pressure can also affect chest size and hip width. Less access to sunlight will increase the eye size. The quantity of solar radiation can also affect skin color. It can be probably darker, more orange. On the other hand, cosmic radiation can affect the amount of hair, a change of the genetic level, as well as bone and muscle structure. One of the most important foundations for the development and stabilization of the city on Mars is the economy. Many factors can affect its condition, such as development of technology, mining, but also epidemics and natural disasters. In this case, sandstorms, a meteorite strike. Our project adopted rising funds from mining, taxes, and technological industry as the largest source of income. Our project also include the creation of places of Mars which could be used to diversify the journey among tourists, but also among residents. The Martian inhabitants will also have their celebration as is done on Earth. One of such events that the residents celebrate in our project is the Feast of Algae. Seaweeds are not only an excellent supplement of the diet, providing nutrients, but also contribute to the production of oxygen. In addition, they can be used in medicine because of their valuable properties, biological properties. such as bactericide, antiviral, and anti-cancer effects. In water reservoir, they can also be used for removing heavy metals. A universal application of seaweeds and their easy breeding makes them one of the most wanted plants of Mars. Can you imagine what your free time on Mars looks like? People can't constantly work, so we offer in our project some Martian entertainment. However, this attraction would definitely differ from everyone's. How would we play basketball on Mars, considering the difference in gravity? Maybe electrifying concert. Solar festival could be an amazing concert resulting from solar flares. Maybe opera on your balcony. With holograms, it would be possible to create live concerts at the door, which would make art more accessible. Maybe organizing an off-road endurance event for amateur. It would be an adventure for adrenaline-loving people to travel using properly adapted rovers. There are many ideas, and we are only limited by the imagination and Martian conditions. City development per million inhabitants is a long-term process which includes not only technical but also social issues. In addition to the architectural design, which has to be carefully planned by early study of the area, it's also necessary to take into account how the city will develop. Despite a completely different condition than on the Earth. Availability of potential raw materials is one of the key factors determining the speed of technology development. Adapting humans to Mars conditions is a very complicated topic, especially that no one has landed on Mars yet. All the ideas that are currently great science fiction may be realized in the distant future. Nevertheless, creating such a huge project was a wonderful adventure for our team. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
So Magdalena, this is Susan again. We do have some questions here in the chat window. Let's see. So the first question is, does the beauty of the surrounding area of the colony impact the psychology of it?
I think yes. Surrounding have a very strong impact on the human psychology. So we have to create nice architecture and
so aesthetics matters. People like,
yes, we have to create light with a near wavelength of sun, and we have to put color on our base and of course plants.
Right. So Justin is asking, what are the challenges posed by creating networks of transportation between these cities? Seems like quite an undertaking, almost as large as the city itself.
Yes, in our city we use underground path, but between city we use a hyperloop or city train to other cities on the our red planet.
A next question is from Jonathan Laughlin. What would be the political structure of the colony?
Construction of the colony, yes?
Yes, the political structure of the colony.
Our colony is located in 3 main points of the Mars. On the Mars, first of all, the first base created on the Mars has 1,000 inhabitants. The second one also, but the third one, the capital, has 700,000 inhabitants. So the rest of citizens are located on the industrial area or in the village which with excuse me. The rest of the citizens are located on the village in which we are producing, we are mining and producing, for example, machines or prototypes.
Thank you very much. The next question is, what can we do to get the average person excited and invested in colonizing Mars?
Okay. First of all, colonizing Mars, it's a far future, so we have to waiting, and the next step is having a lot of money to take adventure and get into the Mars.
Okay, we have about 1 more minute. Did you want me to read another question, or did you see a question
yes,
that you would like to answer?
Are there any emergency measures designed, for example, if some accidents happened and the oxygen fields are burned out? Yes, there is a life support system which have many sensors, or have magazines with oxygen and food, but there is a possibility of catastrophic plan when food are destroyed. And in this case, we have other cities, and we can exchange with other.
Wonderful. Well, I think we have reached time. So I'm
Yes.
going to go ahead and hand this back off to Susan. Thank you very
Okay.
much. I'm going to leave the
Thank you. If you have
chat.
any questions, we sent you a mail for InSpace team, and we can answer your question. Thank you very much.
Magdalena, we really appreciate the presentation tonight. It was wonderful. I loved the slides, and we hope to talk to you again very soon. Take
Thank you
care.
very much.
You're welcome. Good night, everyone.